So let's talk about She-Hulk episode 7. So after the wedding episode, we've now got the therapy episode, I guess you could call it, almost. And I'll be honest, it's not that I didn't like this episode. It's just I still feel like it could be better, and it doesn't really fit into the show that they describe this as being, because this is not the superhero lawyer show. It just isn't. They don't spend any time on cases. I was thinking earlier with this type of show, and I think I said this in the earlier episode, but I'll reiterate it, is that with this type of show, the way that the kind of show that they're copying works is you have each week a new legal case that the main character has to face, and then a lot of times you'll have another second case, which is your B story going on, and that's how each episode works. And it seems like they liked not so much the concept of, like, when they said like Ally McBeal and that kind of stuff. They didn't like so much the concept of the episodic structure or like the legal cases. It's just like the idea of the main character being a woman, and that's pretty much all they carried over. Because I let you compare this kind of show to a show like Ally McBeal. That's all it really has. It's the fact that she's a lawyer and she's a woman. And I didn't dislike this episode. The characters they introduced were interesting, although I feel like we're not going to get anything from them, because like a lot of stuff, it just feels like this isn't going anywhere. And I know I have seen some theories about this episode in particular that there might be something more going on. I'm going to be a little more on the pessimistic side and guess that isn't the case, that they are not going to deliver on that. But that's just me. And the thing I'm talking about is like the idea that maybe these people at Emil Blonsky's retreat aren't just helping Jen, and that there really is something more going on, or especially with the whole Emil Blonsky's what's it called, device. I can't think of it, but you know what I'm talking about. That device short-circuiting. Maybe a little convenient. Maybe it's part of a further plot. I just feel like all those ideas are interesting, and therefore are probably not what the writers are going for at all with this show. And that's just one thing that like all these Disney Plus shows have taught me, to just be, when you think they're maybe setting something up and maybe going in an interesting direction, or maybe this is all just subterfuge. No, it's the most obvious thing is usually the case of what's actually happening. If it seems like this didn't make any impact and didn't matter at all, that's usually what is happening with these Disney Plus shows. That's it. So with this episode, we did have like the concept of a personal growth, a personal journey for the character of Jennifer Walters, and I kind of felt like it felt unearned, because I feel like we haven't really seen anything from this character that much so far in the show. We had her first case where she had to defend Emil Blonsky in his parole hearing. A second case where she helped Wong, and then a third case where she had to defend herself. Well, she didn't defend herself. She got one of the other lawyers to defend her, and the basically the copyright suit. And I think that's been pretty much it. So yeah, I feel like not a lot has actually happened in this episode. So this whole moment of Jennifer having this sort of cathartic moment felt unearned, and especially the idea of that, oh, she has to be She-Hulk all the time is interesting, you know, and that's not how she actually feels. And there's some interesting ideas there. I just, at the end of the day, I feel like it's unearned, and it's not what has been portrayed in the show enough. We've only seen like a tiny bit, and just overall, all these episodes feel short, so short. Why does Disney Plus keep making short episodes? Honestly, I feel like there is some sort of mandate at Disney Plus, well, at Disney, to make Disney Plus episodes around 30 minutes, because that's the way it feels. I don't think there has been a single episode that's been over 45 minutes of a Disney Plus show, when you take into account that like almost 10 minutes, well, not quite 10 minutes, but at least like a good 6 to 10 minutes of the episode are just credits and previously on, and the Marvel Studios or the big Star Wars intro they have at the beginning of each episode. If you take out all those stuff, I feel like there hasn't been a single Disney Plus episode that's been over 45 minutes. I might be wrong, but that's the way it feels, because each of these shows, I mean, this one, it was like even one of the shorter ones. I think even with I think I timed it, it was like 26 minutes at the very end, and then you got to take into account that it was shorter than that, minus like the Marvel Studios intro and the previously on. So I'm telling you, it's killing me that all these shows are just so short, and I don't like it. I mean, look at Netflix with Stranger Things. Huge, long episodes that felt, to me, I love those episodes being that long. It was a great format, and you felt like you were getting a full episode. With this, I feel like I'm getting half an episode, and that they cut out the rest. And this, just like last week, where I complained that it was a B and C story without an A story, this felt like a B story, no C story, and no A story. And that it was okay. It's amusing to watch. What I'll say is, like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. You know, this show, I feel like could have been a lot better. Especially just thinking about like the whole idea of a superhero law show to begin with, and not just a superhero law show. The fact that it's in the MCU, there are all sorts of interesting ideas that you could do with that. That they don't seem, the writers of the show do not seem interested at all. I mean, you have, imagine all the legal scenarios that could have just come up regarding the snap. You know, that's a whole area that you could have been explored in this show. I don't think they've even mentioned the snap in this show. And the Sokovia Accords, I don't think it's been mentioned once. That's a whole area that you could explore in this show. That would be perfect. Not once. And we're almost done with this show. There's only 2 more episodes, I think. And we still have to get Daredevil, which, now that we're this far in the show and we haven't gotten Daredevil, I'll say they should not have showed Daredevil in the trailer. If he was not in the first 4 episodes or first half of the show, they should not have shown Daredevil in the trailer. I know it got people excited because week after week it's been people speculating, when is Daredevil going to show up? And we know, I mean, we knew for a while that he's only going to be in 1 episode, which is disappointing. And then on top of that, he's going to be either the second to last episode, or more likely the last episode. I don't even know how that's going to work. Maybe it'll be in both episodes. Maybe I'm wrong about the only being in 1 episode. One thing I will say about this show is that I don't feel like they're having the problem of some shows where it's getting to the second to the last episode and wondering how are they going to wrap it up, because there is no real story to wrap up at this point. There's the kind of the plot thread of Jennifer's blood being stolen, and that's a thing, I guess. But why do they want the blood? Who knows? Maybe it has something to do with the leader. Probably not. but Hulk blood green is special in some way. It's just like it's not that. There's no overall thread guiding the episodes, which is weird to say because I've complained with some of these shows that they've been too focused on an overall story, and it feels like this show does have one. It's just so very weak, and then the episodic plots don't hold up because it feels like the writers they got into this idea of making it of what this show is, and that is not what they pitched to the people. That's not what they pitched to everyone with the marketing of this show, especially when they were talking about it before they even had trailers. Because this was definitely pitched to people as a superhero lawyer show, and that is not what it is. There's very little superheroing, and there's hardly any lawyering. And there's a lot of side characters we haven't even gotten at all. Like, hardly. I don't think anybody else appeared in this episode of like the side characters in Jennifer's life. Which, why is it a budget thing? Is it like such a focus on keeping the episode so short? But like that seems like a huge mistake to me. That like this episode was already pretty short. Why don't we have 10 to 15 minutes of a B story with one of the other characters? It's wasted potential, in my opinion. I don't know what else to say about it. That's pretty much all I have to say about She-Hulk episode 7, which might sound like I hated it, but I didn't hate it. It's just it's such like in the middle ground of like I can watch it and enjoy it, and then at the same time after it's done say, what are they doing? What are they thinking? Why are they doing this? And I think like Ms. Marvel, this is probably not going to be one that I revisit very much. But hopefully the episode with Daredevil is good. I'm not I remain cautiously optimistic. I think from the tone of the show, like obviously Daredevil's portrayal will be different than he was in the Netflix show, or even different from how he was showed in No Way Home. He'll be, he'll be different. It'll be interesting to see how they adapt the character for this kind of show. We'll see if the writers are up to the task. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching whether you're watching here or on the main channel, do I have to say it? The like, comment, subscribe thing, do the thing. If you want to support the channel, you can, like it, comment, subscribe, or whatever. YouTube spiel. YouTube spiel.